Up next on Win News, the demolition of Walerawang's iconic coal power plant. A Dubbo man shot in the leg and the flood peak flows west as more storms build. We'll see you soon.
Across the Central West, this is Win News.
Tonight, an iconic power station reduced to rubble. More rain ahead as rivers continue to rise. And the community gets behind a young girl and her family during a tough time. Good evening, welcome to Win News. I'm Lincoln Humphries. Also tonight, a new group set up to tackle the Shearer shortage facing our wool industry. An iconic structure along the Castlereagh Highway is no more, reduced to a pile of rubble today. The historic chimney stacks, which have dominated the Walerawang skyline for decades, demolished in a push towards a sustainable future.
A piece of history reduced to dust in a matter of seconds.
Fire now, fire now.
Walerawang, Win News.
The number of positive COVID-19 cases in Orange continues to climb. Another 4 identified overnight. There were 14 new cases recorded across the Western New South Wales Health District since yesterday. 8 of those were located in the Warrumbungle Shire, including 6 in Coonabarabran. There have been 18 cases in the Coonabarabran community since Monday and 12 in Orange. 2 cases were also diagnosed in Dubbo. Lockdown has created DIY home renovators in many of us, but concerningly, many people are unaware of the risk of dealing with asbestos. As demand to build or renovate skyrockets, the message this Asbestos Awareness Week is to call in the professionals.
Karen Martin knows firsthand the devastation of losing a family member to the exposure of asbestos. Zoe Martin, Win News.
Violence prevention body Our Watch is launching a second edition of its Change the Story framework. It recommends strategies to reduce violence against women must go beyond just individual behaviour and guide change to include governments, schools and industry.
Businesses have a key role to play. So many Australians spend a lot of time at work that we need workplaces to be places of equality and respect.
The Coalition's committed more than $22 million to establish a Domestic, Family and Sexual Violence Commission to oversee the implementation of the next national plan. Labor, meanwhile, would also appoint a commissioner and fund 500 new community worker roles under its $153 million pledge. The Cootamundra community is rallying behind a young girl diagnosed with a rare disease. Rosie is currently waiting to receive a liver transplant. Those who know her pitching in to help her and her family through this tough time.
Rosie looks like any other happy and bubbly 1-year-old girl. But behind the smiles, Rosie is fighting the battle of her life.
It's very overwhelming.
If you'd like to help Rosie and her family, you can visit the Rally for Rosie page on Facebook. Cassidy Rogan, Win News.
A new advisory group has been established to address a critical shortage of shearers across our state. The New South Wales Wool Technical Advisory Group will work on attracting and training workers in the industry. It's estimated the number of shearers has dropped 30% over the past decade, with border closures during the pandemic and recent drought placing further strain on the sector. The advisory group is also advocating for improved training courses for shearers and classes. Still to come on Win News this evening, preserving our rare flora species for future generations. And you'll have to race in to claim a spot for this new zoo experience. Affected communities in the Central West are being given no time to recover. Severe weather warnings for parts of the region of another downpour. Residents warned of renewed river rises and road flooding just as waters started to recede.
This time 2 years ago, the Central West was facing one of its worst bushfire disasters in history. Walerawang, Win News.
A man is in hospital and police are investigating after a shooting in Dubbo overnight. Just before 11 p.m, emergency services were called to a home on Baird Street, Dubbo. They arrived to find a 34-year-old man who had been shot in the leg and suffering cuts to his face and arms. Police have been told 2 people wearing face coverings broke into the house and assaulted the man before fleeing the scene. The victim remains at Dubbo Base Hospital in a serious but stable condition. Anyone with information is being urged to contact police immediately. There are 3 new special arrivals to spot at the National Zoo. The cheetah trio are out and about now for visitors, and plenty of people are expected to speed in to meet the cubs up close.
Meet Asani, Viking and Zambi.
The 3 boys that I have behind me are new additions here.
Time for a look at your sports news now with Melissa Russell and Bathurst's Tom Hooper looking to cement a starting spot this season.
Yeah, that's right, Link. He's in his 3rd Super Rugby season at the Brumbies. Plus, a Dubbo soccer talent's shock comeback for Canberra United ahead of the A-League women's season.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Everything you need in electrical, technology, furniture and bedding. Shop in store and online today.
Dubbo soccer talent Ash Sykes is coming out of retirement after rediscovering her love for the game. She'll play under her twin sister Nick at Canberra United as they target an A-League women's title.
Putting her coaching ambitions on hold for another shot at glory.
The Matildas have started to assemble in Sydney ahead of their upcoming 2-game series against the USA. Ellie Carpenter among those who have already touched down on home soil. The squad's starting to come together ahead of what's shaping up as a huge test against the world's top-ranked side.
I think they're just like a very physical, fast, attacking style of team. I think that kind of opposition brings out the best in us, so we're expecting big things from them, but they can be expecting just as much from us.
Game 1 is set down for Saturday afternoon in Sydney. Bathurst's Tom Hooper has set his sights on a starting spot at the Brumbies this Super Rugby season. Hooper is fighting for a spot at lock, keen to put his best foot forward over summer.
Back to work at Brumbies HQ for another pre-season in the capital.
And Link, that is our midweek sport.
Excellent, Mel. Thank you very much. Let's check those weather details after the break. Could be some rain on the way. We'll check the long-range forecast.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Everything you need in electrical, technology, furniture and bedding. Shop in store and online today.
Welcome back to Win News. Time for a look at your weather details. A very cloudy day across our region with showers and thunderstorms still possible this evening. Those storms could be severe about the central west slopes and plains later tonight as well. Strong winds for Condobolin today with gusts reaching 44 kilometres per hour. Parkes recorded 15 millimetres of rainfall in the gauge in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. Wellington and Dubbo as well as Narromine maxed out at 27 and Cowra picked up close to 11 millimetres today with a max of 25. 23s for Bathurst, Lithgow and Oberon. On the charts, a trough of low pressure is leading to increasingly unstable conditions with showers, rain and thunderstorms expected to move across our state from now right through till Saturday. This activity will track slowly across New South Wales to be focused in the east of our state by Friday afternoon, with an easing in conditions expected later on Saturday. So let's check your forecast for tomorrow now. Cloudy with showers and thunderstorms likely. Rainfall will be heavy at times, especially about the west of our region, and it may lead to flash flooding. So please take care out there. Don't take any risks on the road. 27 the top coming up for Nyngan and Warren, and 19 overnight. This cloud cover keeping things very mild overnight. So those overnight temperatures staying in the mid-teens for most of our centres, and everyone's getting above 20 except for Orange. Let's take a look at Orange a little bit closer now. Rain and possible thunderstorms around 25 to 35 millimetres expected, and 13 overnight, 18 your top. For the days ahead, Friday will be wet with more heavy rain and thunderstorms. Saturday's looking cloudy, but still a high chance of showers. And guess what? Much the same for Sunday. Those maximum temperatures for Lithgow getting down to 12 for Saturday, but around 20 elsewhere. That is all for Win News this evening. Thank you very much for your company. We're back on your telly tomorrow night at 5:30 with the latest local news. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.